This is the stuff dreams are made of. I'm writer-collector Ryan Condal.
And I'm writer-collector Dave Mandel, and you're listening to the original movie prop collecting podcast. This episode, a special prop store auction extravaganza brought to you by Prop Store, parentheses, and Heritage. But no, brought to you by Prop Store, and we're going to be talking a little bit about a big special auction that they're having. How you doing, Ryan? How's everything?
I'm good, Dave. It feels like it's auction season all over again, and
I know
it was like, there's not much going on this year, and then
begins. Yeah, it begins. Yeah, exactly. Which, I mean, I don't know, takes me right into my what's new in props, which is I actually made a trip up to Prop Store and just brought them some of that like paperwork and stuff that like I was kind of starting to kind of look at and kind of go, here's do I need these, as many of these original scripts that I have for Star Wars and Return of the Jedi, and just various things I found. This was kind of cool. It was I don't even remember what it was. It was like it was from Return of the Jedi. No, it's from Empire Strikes Back, and it was a script thing, but it wasn't the full movie script. It was something. It was something else, but it belonged to Stuart Freeborn. It has Stuart Freeborn's name's penciled on it, but it's all interesting stuff. Everything I have is interesting, press kits and all of this kind of stuff. But it's just like I said, this was not a drawer that I even thought about opening when the fires were coming, and so I just, as I'm sort of bumping into like drawers and opening them, I'm looking and just going, gosh, did I really need all of this? And so I did take sort of a first load of some stuff up there just to kind of give them some stuff. And to be equal opportunity, I've got some stuff I'm going to be giving to Heritage. I think there are certain things each one does better than the other. I sort of think about where things go.
Was that easy? Was it hard for you? Did you care after you dropped them off? It was
actually pretty easy. I mean, it's tough. I'm not going to lie. Somewhere in the back of my brain, it's sort of like, isn't it great to have these? You know what I mean? Like just the empirical, like, this is cool. I had a Return of the Jedi script that's like, I don't know, I think it was like number 7 or something. I'm sure I'm getting them confused, but it had like each page was stamped. It felt very official. But what I do remember more than anything is back in the day when I was getting these things, when I was buying a lot of these things, I didn't have a lot of props, number one. Number two, part of it was I kind of want to read these things. I want to read these early drafts. I want to see how the story changed. And now subsequently, you can go online, you can find all the drafts. You can go online, you can find PDFs of all these things. So the notion of the readability, there are articles, there are books on the various scripts and the changes and whatnot. And so having them is a little less of something. And I guess in the grand scheme of things, I thought to myself, well, maybe I'll keep one from each one, or maybe I'll keep just a Star Wars one. And yeah, again, isn't it cool I have these things? But it ultimately was relatively easy to get rid of them. Just, I think, a little bit based on my own internal censor of when was the last time I actually looked at them. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I am aware of that. And again, I can sit here and just go, yeah, sure, it'd be great to have it all. I mean, again, but I just, the realization of like, I can open up a drawer. I can put things in that drawer that are things I want to keep. And that there are also things, not that this is exactly what I'm thinking, but there are definitely things where I'm like, well, there's a chance maybe one of my kids will be interested in that someday. And it's a little bit less of a couple of versions of scripts, I guess, is the honest answer. So anyway. Yeah, so
for sure.
It begins again. I certainly didn't do anything that like you would go like life shattering, and I didn't do anything earth shattering where you'd be like, oh, I can't believe that's gone. It was nothing like that. It was just sort of the sheer amount of stuff. There's some storyboard drawings that went into things like that, and it's just like, okay, these are all good, but I did go through like my storyboards and I went like, I've got 4 drawings by Joe Johnston of the Millennium Falcon, in the asteroid field. I can get rid of one of them. Do you know what I mean? And probably I could get rid of even 2 or 3 of them, but let's start with one. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And so you know, it's a lot of that kind of stuff. Like, why did I buy 4 at the time? Well, I had the opportunity, and I do love the
But that's
sequence,
good.
and it was
That's
cool.
good.
Yeah. But I
Good
did
for you.
feel like I would like to have some. I'm not getting rid of all of them, but maybe I have too many, and that's kind of where I'm leaning to at the moment. So
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that's my what's new in props is it begins the de-ascensioning a little bit. So hopefully, yeah, we'll see what
Cool.
happens.
Good. Yeah. Good for you. Good for you. I have a really cool what's new in props.
Very,
which is
allow me to say in advance, super cool. Really cool. Yeah.
which is this is a public service announcement for anybody that's listening to this. That's a collector. That's a fan of House of the Dragon. Very, very kindly and generously, HBO. I phoned them up because Prop Store was putting on a charity auction for the Costume Designers Guild of America. They're doing a charity fundraiser to raise money for IATSE, their sort of union that represents the costume designers and costume teams. Just because, frankly, the Los Angeles film industry is in such dire straits, and the membership all needs help. So they're doing this fundraiser to raise money for it. And Prop Store had asked me, hey, is there anything you think you can shake loose from the show? And I had asked sort of generally before, and it wasn't resistance. It was just sort of like, it's too complicated. There's too much red tape, all the up and down, whatever. So I said, hey, I can ask, we'll see. And to my kind of great surprise, they sort of immediately said yes. Like, what do you want? And I pitched back to them, hey, I think we should do something from season 1. We're now clear of that, pretty far, that I know that we're not going to be reusing that stuff, putting it back on camera. I'm going to pick something I know we have multiples of, so it's safe for the archives and all that. I went in with a real kind of archivist thinking, and
you had
talked
sort
to
of a plan of like what might they be willing and whatever.
Yeah.
But by the way,
Yeah.
just incredible that they were willing. I mean, I don't know how
willing,
else to
yeah,
say that.
yeah. And I went for it. So I just went. I said I want to put a Rhaenyra or a Daemon in this auction, and again, HBO's great credit. Thank you, HBO. To my costume department, to Joe Lynch, our costume supervisor, who kind of manages all of the ins and outs of that world. They came forward with a great Daemon costume, a full hero Daemon costume, head to toe, jacket, trousers, gloves, belt. It's his dragon riding costume from episode 6.
It's full badass Matt Smith Daemon. Like, it's exactly what you want.
Yeah.
It's an incredible charity. I mean, let's say that also. It's a great sort of charitable thing. I think
cause.
just to throw this in, by the way, I mean, obviously the work is tough in LA, but also the fires. I throw in the fires. I believe there's fire relief is a big part of this as well. If you've been thinking about trying to help people with the fires, and you want to have the only costume, or by the way, only like real object ever publicly released in auction from House of Dragon, and perhaps, maybe someday there'll be an auction, but, good luck with that whenever that is. So here is your chance. It's pretty incredible. Yeah.
Yeah. It's great. And it's hero. It's label number 2. I think there were 2 of these. So we have the one, but it was definitely worn. I on screen, I confirmed it with my costumes department, because I didn't want anything that was used as a backup and unused, because I know what collectors care about. But the thing that's about this is it's complete. Other costumes, there are pieces that like live with props and live here and there, and this was just easy because it was all in one bag. The belt wasn't a sword belt because it's his dragon riding costume, so he's not wearing his sword, so it's a belt from costume. So it's head to toe. You can put it on a mannequin. It's exactly like it was used in the show. There's custom embroidery all over the costume. This stuff is done painstakingly in the old way they used to do it, which is just by hand with these crazy talented embroiderers that sit there for hours and hours doing these designs. There's dragons. There's a dragon on the front, on the back. There's all this like kind of custom stuff on the front. You can see the lot. It's up at PropStoreAuction.com. And the auction today is the show is being released February 19th. That's today. the auction ends on February 21st. So you have 48 hours to gather yourself, put a
Plenty of
bid in. I'm
time,
sure
plenty of
this
time.
one's gonna.
And just to plug, they've got a couple other really exciting things from various various members of the costume.
Wicked,
guild.
Furiosa.
Yep, they have one of the only things out there from Wicked. It's really cool. There's a gorgeous Furiosa piece, which is one of the teddy bear that what's his name has on his belt and whatever, and some lovely sketches too.
Chris Hemsworth's
the fine folks at Stranger Things put in Joyce, which is what's her name, Winona Ryder. It's her puffer jacket that's in there, and then a bunch of stuff from the high school. So the high school like Letterman jackets and like cheerleader costumes. It's a really nice auction. It kind of came together very quickly, I think, like for the fires and whatnot, and it's just a real opportunity for some stuff you just do not see. And so go to propstore.com and you can see everything. And I think they're even, in theory, they may have added a couple of things by the time you actually are hearing this. So there's probably some new additions that haven't even happened. Yeah.
They launched the auction without this piece in because we were still kind of, doing ticking and tying and make sure everything was done. But it's been in for a little while, and by this airing, it's been in for a little while. And it's just great. Just go and look at it. It's 100% authentic. It's right from the show. You'll have all the paperwork from that.
By the way, I'm gonna take a little credit. I told Chuck to ask you. I said I have no idea, but ask him. So there you go.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Good credit, Dave. And I'll go so much further. If you're a listener to the show who happens to win the costume, drop us an email, and I'll get whatever information. I'll write you a letter. I'll do whatever. If this helps the number go up a little bit, happy to do all of that. So write in if you've won it and you're a listener. Stuff Dreams Are Made Of. I'll figure something out to zhuzh up the lot for you, for whatever crazy price you're gonna have to pay for that thing. And that's the other thing, is it's a Matt Smith, and Matt is just so big in the genre world with Doctor Who and
genuine
everything that he's
Matt
done.
Smith sweat on the inside of that thing.
Hello,
ladies. Yeah,
that is right. Yeah.
And if one of our listeners wins, I will send you a bust of, like, a presidential bust from the Oval Office on Veep that nobody wants. I will send you one of those.
Boom. There you go.
Yeah, if you're interested.
Deal sealed. So that actually segues into another auction that's ending tomorrow.
Yes, is the theme of tonight's episode, or today's episode, whatever time or world it is.
We were trying to time this, which it's just a weird one, because there's the Blade Runner 2049 auction, as you've probably told from the title of the show, which has been going on for a few weeks now, and we were trying to figure out when's the most interesting time to do this podcast, and we sort of figured the last Wednesday before it wraps, just because this is going to be all the frenzied bidding is really going on. So not that you need our help necessarily, but if you're curious what we think, we're going to go through page by page in this auction. We talk about most of the lots. We are going to give you all of our thoughts, feelings, and thinking of what's great and what should be tracked down and what we might be bidding on. And the auction has been running for, again, a couple weeks, and it wraps tomorrow, February 20th. So get your bids in.
If you haven't seen them already, if you go on our socials or to our YouTube channel, I was going to say our socials are at Props Podcast. I went over and basically kind of got a chance to look at some of the props on camera with Bart, who filmed it.
Yeah, and touch them and upset many YouTube people.
I touched them. I licked a couple of them because I thought it would be fun.
Very upsetting.
We finally get to the bottom of the question: is Brandon Allinger a replicant? So we're going to get to the bottom of that.
Interesting.
Yes. So we're going to finally, yes. Yeah. So we'll see. But without further ado, the Blade Runner 2049 auction.
Did you shoot him in the back?
No, he wasn't a woman.
Oh. The 2049 auction.
I am very excited. And I am going to start by saying this, to me, for whatever reason, is Prop Store's prettiest catalog. I think just their selections, the layout is nice. They have stuff from the entire auction, but it's not overcrowded, so the catalog breathes.
Yeah.
And then just some lovely screen grab choices. I guess they just had access, because it's from the studio, to anything and everything. And so it's just I just love I love the cover with Ryan Gosling. I love that shot on sort of the title pages of the Saperstein farmhouse with the tree and whatnot. I just thought it was just a great
Saperstein.
I make them Jewish. I make everybody Jewish. Sappers. That's a shout out to the Sapersteins.
They are on the run from persecution. I mean, they're replicants as
I think replicants as Jews, it works. But anyway, I thought it was a really lovely looking catalog on top of everything else. So wherever that fits in. But should we dive in? Anything you want to say about the catalog before we go?
Yeah, let's roll. Let's roll. Let's do it.
That's exciting. Well, speaking of Saperstein, it starts with Sapper Morton's Dave Bautista's environmental suit and helmet. And I always loved this scene just because this was the scene that was originally in the... this is from the original film, right? That was cut and kind of...
Well, I think it was in the original...
The question.
I think... Yes,
I think it was in the original. It was in the
scripts, yes,
right.
And it was storyboarded and all that. But this is this is like a leftover from the Hampton Fancher script from the original, and it's actually cool because this is an older replicant, and at the end I remember he removes his jaw, and there's like a serial number written inside of his jawbone, and that was how he sort of he after the fact confirmed that he was one of these replicants that he was hunting down. But it's just this neat. And the description of the little house, and he's cooking something on the stove. It's very much a nod to that, which all of us who have obsessed over this movie and the versions of the scripts really enjoyed. But what a great piece of kit this is, particularly the helmet. I mean, the helmet.
The helmet is just truly
gorgeous.
Fantastic, wonderful, just to display on itself, even if you got the whole thing. But just really, really gorgeous. So it starts with lot 6. I just realized that, right? I'm not missing something. Yeah. Who knows? The lost lots 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Blade Runner is ever a mystery, Dave.
Yeah. It's they don't know. They don't know how many replicants. Was it 4 or 5? We'll start with 6. Yeah.
Nexus 6. They start with Nexus lot.
Oh, there you go. Nexus 6. Yeah. And then Nexus 7, Kay's costume with coat match to arrival at the Sapper farm scene.
God, this is just glorious,
incredible.
And they have a spoiler. They have a bunch of these in the auction, but every one is just great. And to me, I have to resist. I think I have to stay disciplined and let this auction go. But it's more dangerous the more I stare at it, I will tell you. But if I had to walk away with something from this auction, I think it would be one of these, because they're just.
If you could get one of these coats, I do think it is really something. I have to say, I like the movie a lot. I just got the 4K of it, and I am going to rewatch it and try and decide. I'm trying to decide if this is something, not specifically this lot, although maybe this lot. I'm trying to decide, do I need to own something from 2049? Because when I saw the movie in the theater and watched it a few times after that, I did really, 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 really like it. I thought it really, especially in the world of all of these sort of, what's the category? Sort of the 30-year later legacy sequel. Is that what they're calling it? Legacy sequel. Okay. So many of them are so awful and so disappointing. And this to me is, I guess this and Top Gun, I guess, are probably the two best. I'm trying to think if there's anything I'm forgetting, but this and Top Gun, and maybe Top Gun's better, but fuck it. Top Gun's really good. But this was really good, and it really surprised me by sort of what it faked and didn't do. And I'll avoid all the spoilers, but all the parental stuff. There's a bad version of this movie where, Kay is everybody's son and whatever. And, and I'm just so thrilled the way they didn't do that. And I love this costume. I love that collar. And there is just such a wonderful sense of, it is like everything else in this movie. It is honoring the original Blade Runner, but it is always its own thing. And that's, I think, what I love about this movie and these costumes. It references Deckard without being Deckard's coat. You know what I mean? That's the best way I can put it. Here's my question to you. Strategy-wise, if you were going for one of these coats, are you just bidding on all of them and hoping? Do you make your play on the first one, hoping that people haven't, like people are still disoriented, that there's no lots 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, and oh my God, it started with 6. I thought that was going to be in 7 hours. And do you hope for the first one? Do you have a strategy when there's sort of, there's a couple of them in this auction. I think there's 3 or 4 in this auction. We'll
there's
get
at least. I mean, there's a to me, I think I think you kind of go for this one because they're such an embarrassment of riches. They're all matched. This one matches that opening scene, which is cool, but as we go on, they match cooler and cooler and cooler sequences. Right. There's one at the end that matches the seawall sequence with Deckard and in the car, and the rescue, the climax of the film. So I don't think you can kind of go wrong. I think I would just jump at the first one because I think everybody's going to be kind of looking to that one to set the tone, and maybe people aren't bidding or they're bidding carefully, kind of waiting, and maybe this is the one that kind of slides. Not, I don't think you get it for a steal, but
no, I'm
I can
not
see
saying
this
it's
one
free, but maybe people.
I can see this one going for
in.
A couple 10,000 less than the peak one that people go for. But as we go, we should kind of debate which one is the best one,
sure,
which is the best scene to have something from. But this is fantastic.
The other thing I was curious about, and I guess we don't have an answer we can ask him, is like if someone like Blade Runner superfan Steve Loader, who we had on the show, like, does this movie mean anything to him, and does he care that he loves Blade Runner so much? Does he care about this auction?
When he was on, I think he just sort of said he likes the movie, but to him it's not Blade Runner. It just feels like a different universe.
Okay. And
I think it's just in the way it was presented. It didn't feel like the same city to him, even though it was 30 years on. So
fair enough.
So my guess is I doubt he's bidding, but that doesn't matter. I mean, there's going to be so many people in on this. There's just such fans of Denis Villeneuve out there. This is that thing. Shall we?
Yeah, keep going.
Shall we jump on? I mean, I just think there's page 8 of the catalog, lots 8 through 12. There's a bunch of Sapper Morton stuff. Well, there's Ryan Gosling's
I think the badge, I mean, in terms of great, a small hand prop, could be a very cool, just sort of, that's my Blade Runner piece. It's not giant. Hopefully it doesn't go crazy, but I think that's a really nice piece. The Sapper stuff is all fun. It's, again, sort of maybe less sexy, the Sapper stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe Dave Bautista fans out there would.
I did love how he played against type, though. That he, for
sure.
Normally the big giant guy, and he was sort of, yes, obviously very strong because he was a replicant, but I did really like.
He let himself kind of be, older and kind of put out to pasture.
Yeah.
And, and let it show even in the hair and makeup, and I mean, he's a really, I mean. For an ex-professional wrestler, the guy is a gifted actor. I mean, he's truly a gifted actor. I think
he is. We are distracted by the wrestling part, and he is just a really, real genius actor.
Right. Well, because you're thinking of all the other meatheads that do it,
exactly.
And it's just he is a different cut of performer.
14 is where I go next.
It's so cool, isn't it? So good. And screen matched, and God, it's just this is the thing. This is where it gets really dangerous for me, because I start talking about these things and really liking them, and then thinking about, well, I could do this and this and then I can have a whole room dedicated later on 2049. But I'm not going to. I'm gonna enjoy you winning some things from this auction.
I think you're gonna change your mind and you're gonna go after something. Whether you win or not, I don't know. I think you'll be disciplined about it, but I think you're gonna bid on something.
Dave, I have to batten the hatches this year. It has to.
I am trying. I am really trying. I need some more things to go up in fire, so I think this is a good opportunity to pick up some things that when push came to shove, I wouldn't grab from my burning apartment. So this is a chance to really stock up.
The other things that you would take out of your apartment versus my Conan painting.
Yeah, that was not even on my mind. Sorry, man. Not even close.
You're like, oh, that's just firewood. That.
I hope
you did the thing where you tipped it in front of the fire to distract it on the way out.
I hosed it down with water to try and protect other things. Yeah, was that okay?
Thank you.
Yeah. With this screen match light up retractable eye scanner, I believe they have another one that maybe doesn't retract and doesn't light up. I can't remember.
They have the one with the green screen on it later. This to me seems to be the one. This seems like the hero prop. For whatever that's worth, but God, it's so cool, and the opening bid is so reasonable, and I just think I think it's great. All this stuff is great.
It's too reasonable.
The eye in the bag, the eye in the bag is great. Lot 16.
I love just the Japanese writing on the bag, just keeping that sort of Blade Runner world alive. Yeah. Where are you next?
Lot 21. I mean, I love the baseline test. I mean, that thing is probably pretty huge. It's 30 inches. I guess it's not ridiculous. You can mount it on a wall, but that thing is awesome. And that test was awesome. the sort of the emotional test. This whole page is great. You know, it's another sweater from Kay and his shoulder holster, which is great. God, that would look so cool under the jacket if you think about that.
That shoulder holster is gorgeous. I mean,
Yeah.
even they're naked on
and it's
that
screen
that
matched.
dummy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really, really cool. And the sweater, I agree. The be aware, what should I say? United States collectors, that the item 21 ships from London. So I guess it's there on a little tour. So you can go see that, Ryan. You can go visit it.
Yeah, I actually should go see that. It's probably my only chance to see anything from this this auction. But yeah, I love the baseline test. The sweater's cool kind of on its own. I mean, you could do a lot 23-24 combo if you didn't want to have to buy the whole Gosling costume, because he does exhibit, you know, that is a look that he has in the movie. He doesn't always have the jacket on, so that's potentially cool if you could grab one of the stunt pistols. That would be really cool. But yeah, I mean, it's just like that. That's what I love about this auction is there's so much stuff that's screen matched. They've done the research. They've put in the time. It's so beautifully laid out, and just every page has a winner on it. And that's the great thing about this movie is everything was bespoke, made for the movie. New tech that they brought in, you know, into the Blade Runner universe, and here it is. It's just it's all right there for you. They have on the next page, they have the ceiling mounted SFX Ana de Armas Joy projection unit, which if you think the baseline test is big, check that thing out.
I feel like there should be a parentheses like does not come with projection of Ana de Armas. Yeah, because I think it's a very different prop without Ana, without Ana there. I'm just saying.
Somebody could rig that, right, to project it up against the wall or something like that.
Yeah, I guess if you front project her or put her on her screen and whatever. For me, that probably doesn't work unless you are building your Blade Runner 2049 room, because it does feel like it needs a room unto itself, but still neat and certainly a fun part of the movie.
For sure,
wherever that fits in, and I guess that's how I felt a little bit about a lot of the other various, forgive me, the Joy emanators and whatnot, like Lot 30 and whatnot, all really interesting and cool looking. I think I like them more how they worked in the movie than I do as individual props, I guess. But that's obviously personal taste.
It's a cool key prop, and then it'll mean something to somebody.
And the fact that the Joy says Joy on it, that it says JOI on, I thought was cool. So yeah. No, it can't all be costumes. So yeah, right. I do agree with that.
The Gosling VidPhone Lot 29 is really cool. A nod back to the original movie. We have a bunch of Joy costumes then on page 16 and 17, lots 34 through 39. Right.
Which have ridiculously low starting bids. I mean, I assume people are going to go cuckoo for this stuff.
Low. Yeah, there's one that they've matched. But these are all kind of her sort of, you know, housewife to Kay, kind of that part of the character. And they're beautiful. They're beautiful. Yeah. They're very evocative of like, not really of Rachel, I guess, but they're evocative of that kind of world. And more actually, honestly, to me, more of kind of Pris's world and a bit of Joanna Cassidy. What was her character's name?
A little bit. I will say these various outfits feel more specifically grounded in, I don't know, I guess I'll simply say a specific, like sort of the history of women's clothing and television women. I don't know. Whereas, I don't know, that the stuff in the original movie was more of a specific choice. Like this, like the women are wearing this. I don't know. I'm not sure exactly the point I am making, but
yeah, me neither. Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure the point I'm making either. Now that I'm not sure the point you're making. I'm not sure the point either of us are making. These are cool costumes.
Yeah, very neat.
Very very cool. And then on the next page we have another whiskey glass from the Blade Runner collect the whole set. I love this lot 42 Gosling's screen matched Pale Fire book.
Yep,
now Pale Fire, for anybody that a little inside baseball here for the film, his baseline test is actually passages from Pale Fire.
Oh, I don't think I put that together. Very cool.
The whole I forget. It's been a while since I've seen it, but you know that repetitive phrase that they they do again. That they make him kind of call and answer to. Those are passages from that or adapted from that. I've never read Pale Fire, but that was my my understanding and in deep reading into the film. And then you have the Princess Bride's costume, Robin Wright's Lieutenant Yoshi's LAPD costume, which is actually very cool. And to me, this it does evoke that kind of extrapolated from that police look from the first film, with that sort of vaguely kind of Nazis invading Poland look that the LA cops had, which I really enjoy, and I liked her character a lot in that movie.
Yeah, she was really good, very severe. The whiskey glass doesn't do anything for you? $500 whiskey glass?
No, I've never been on a Blade Runner 1982 whiskey glass, Dave. Why would I start here?
Do you have Do you have one of the replica chess sets from Blade Runner? Do you have that?
No, not yet either. No.
Is that something you care about, the bird one or whatever?
Yeah. I think when I have a place to put it, I would for sure get one. Yeah.
And would you
the originals? By the way, the original is supposedly out there.
Oh, the actual
yet
actual
to be shaken out
set.
of the trees.
Oh,
yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. Fascinating. But I guess there's two, right? Because technically there's Sebastian's set with the birds, and then there's his set with the armor guys, the Terrell set.
Yeah,
with armor.
yeah. I believe it's the Sebastian set that's out there, is my understanding.
Right, which is like the Audubon Society set or something. Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
44 and 45.
Love that.
Oh my gosh, yeah, really
so cool. Particularly 44, the screen matched Footlocker, because that sort of keys off the whole plot. It's the remains of Rachel that they find on Sapper Morton's property. That Avon Barksdale, Wood Harris, finds the other Blade Runner. That's that character, the other Blade Runner that you briefly meet. And when he's describing the find to Yoshi in the office, and wearing a very similar costume to Gosling, which makes you question: is he? I guess he's another replicant.
I assume he's a replicant as well. Yeah.
Avon Barksdale from The Wire, Wood Harris.
Really cool. The bones are just neat looking and horrible
really
and wonderful. Great. Yeah, the jaw and whatnot.
Yeah.
And honestly, some of Sean Young's best work. I mean, she was really good in this scene, so I like that. Yeah. I liked the 50. I like 51. The hair sample. It sort of goes with the eye. It goes with the eyeball.
Yeah. All the evidence bag stuff. Then 52. Some of those memory spheres, which I don't know. That was one bit of tech in this movie I wasn't so sure about, but fine. Yeah. We'll let the play stand. But then on 53 we have another fully screen matched K costume with gloves.
Costume with the gloves, and this one has. Did the first one have the sweater underneath it too? I've got to go back now and look. It does. Oh yes, it does. You're right. Yeah, it does.
Yeah, this one is a little more complete, but this is also screen matched. These are so good. These are so good.
Oh, the first one has gloves as well, so they both have gloves.
Oh, does it? Oh, okay, okay. There you go.
Yeah.
I guess they didn't. Did they lay them out?
They're on there, but they didn't lay them out.
They
just
didn't put them
in the
as
description.
a separate bubble call out in the thing. But yeah, it's really good.
I mean, great scene. The Wallace Memory Vault. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I love Sylvia Hoek's character too. Love. She's cool.
See, her outfit, which if you go to lot 54, that feels to me slightly more of on the same sort of world of what Rachel was wearing. Like
the Charles Dode.
Yeah, where it kind of feels like a 1940s. In rewatching Blade Runner, the final cut, I was struck, and I did wonder, in a world where obviously, a detective story, Humphrey Bogart, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, I was reminded of how much Rachel's look initially, before she takes her hair down, is very forgive me, Wander Wonderly, Bridget O'Shaughnessy from the Maltese Falcon, the hair up and the outfit in the early scenes, sort of the not a recreation of it, but very suggested by it.
An homage.
That struck me again, wherever that fits in. Yeah. 58 and 59 are the blank Nexus 8, whatever they were, like in the
which are so
the
cool.
display. They were really wild looking. Yeah.
I don't know. They haven't uploaded the operating system into them yet or something. But very, very cool.
Really neat. Don't need these. You need both of these, but I don't need these. I'm going to pass on these.
I'm not buying any of the Gosling costumes, but I will buy these from the
Ryan, I am going to step aside on these for you. You owe me a favor. Okay, good. Done.
That's settled.
Yeah. You owe me. These are yours. And then 60 Gaff's wheelchair, which Edward James Olmos, very enjoyable. By the way, again, my daughter, what language was he speaking?
She is the studio. I think that was on there too. They didn't understand city speak. I love it. Did you explain it's city speak?
I did not care. We talked a lot about the future and Japan, and nope, didn't care. So yeah. Oh well.
Yeah. I really liked this from the script. Did I ever tell you that they brought me in? I'd never really pitched in this movie, but when they were looking for writers, they knew that I was a massive fan. This is like 10 years ago, but I got in there and I met with Ridley's head of development.
I guess I didn't remember that. I guess what I did vaguely remember you going in on one of the TV show things. Forgive me. You may have told me. I just didn't remember.
Yeah, that too. I've circled Blade Runner a couple times. I've failed on all of them. I don't know. Maybe this will come back around to me post House of the Dragon. But yes, went in on when they were looking to make the far future sequel, and they clearly had a very specific idea of what they wanted, but they weren't sharing any of it. So they were just trying to find somebody that was like,
they were hoping that you would pitch them what they already had, kind of a thing. Okay, interesting.
Sort of, or that like, less that and more that I was going to hit that resonant frequency of the mood and the thing that they were looking for. And I think this actually predates Denis too, because I think they were just looking. I think Alcon was looking to develop a thing, and I have a good relationship with those guys because they're the ones that actually ended up with. They didn't buy it originally, but they're the ones that ended up with Galahad, and it's a tiny company. And actually, Andrew Kozov, who is one of the two principals of the company, used to be a neighbor of mine. So like we would see each other walking our dogs and all that. So and they were right up the street from me. So I always had a close relationship with Alcon. So this was like an easy in for me. It just didn't work out. And look, Michael Green did such a fantastic job with this movie that I'm actually glad. It's one of those that I'm glad I didn't get the job because I can just enjoy the movie from afar.
But also this is one of those ones where it's like, this is not the one I want to fuck up. You know what I mean? Not that I go into something thinking I'm going to fuck it up.
I'd much rather screw up House of the Dragon.
Yes, exactly. So much easier. Yeah.
But there was something that I remember from the script or from. I don't remember, but there was.
You mean just from reading the script when it came out?
Yeah,
but okay.
Something that I don't know. Something that was written that did not quite get put up on the screen, but it's the idea that the Gaff is kind of running this kind of like old person home sort of mafia thing where. Because of the world and because medical science, people are just living to extreme old age. So the old person homes, and because new people aren't being born, like basically old people homes are sort of mass overpopulated. So if you can run one of these things, there's a lot of money to be made. And the idea that he's kind of in there sort of playing that, gaming the system that way, which is obviously not in that one scene that you get when you go to him. And I forget I met Michael Green too at some point, and he very kindly accepted an offer to take him out to lunch because I was just such a fan of all the great stuff that he was doing. And maybe it came up there. I don't really remember. Or this is where it came from.
Because honestly, it's a fine cameo, but yeah, you don't get any sense of what he's up to. But sorry, go ahead.
Hampton Fancher had written a treatment. And at some point I got exposed to that treatment. I don't remember whether it was when I went in to pitch them or after the fact, or if my friend at Alcon just handed it to me at some point. But they had Hampton, who was the original writer on the original Blade Runner movie, come in and do his like this is what I would do for it. And very, very much like the original, it was these incandescent ideas that are all over the map and not, not sort of oriented into
and like giant swings
movie
at
story.
things, but and then someone comes in and shapes it.
And just like David Peoples did with the original, and I think that was the sort of the job that that Michael and probably Denis did on this one. So I think that came from reading the treatment. Anyway, I thought it was a cool idea, and when I was delighted when I saw that scene in the film, because it sort of plays to it without going through the long explanation that it would take to.
I'm not sure it plays to it if you don't know it, because I had no idea. I'll just simply say that.
Yeah.
But I do get a real kick out of, according to this document, lot 63, that this was a one-of-one piece of little origami. That just the idea, a little bit in rough shape, but still that you would actually be able to own a piece of gaff origami would be, I don't know, very, very cool.
That's very cool, and I love that it's a sheep too.
Yeah. So anyway, I thought that was really fun. We now move into Neander Wallace, Jared Leto.
Jared Leto's world.
A little world of various props, his gi, various devices and whatnot. All interesting. I don't know, maybe not my favorite part of the film, I'll just simply say, and go out on that edge,
Yeah. It's interesting. I had heard that the original plan here, and I don't know whether it was he was cast and they had to move on, or that was the idea or whatever, but I had read that actually Bowie was the original plan here for Wallace,
that
which
you just
then you just and you just like, okay. And to me, in a way that sort of ties the movie together. Leto is a fine guy and actor. I just think you wanted somebody like a more elder statesman, I think, for that role. You just wanted Christopher Walken. You wanted you can stunt cast it a little bit, but to me, you just wanted some. And I guess they were going for like the young,
but if you cast
young
Bowie,
tech.
Right, they went for Zuckerberg, but if you cast Bowie, then you have the instant tie-in to the Prestige, and it's sort of like Nikolai Tesla lived forever and then became Neander Wallace, and it's
that's cool.
And it's sort of like an otherworldly connection and vision. Yeah, there are few and far between people like that, and Bowie is one of them. And again, not Leto's fault, but it just felt, I don't know, it's the one for me slightly. Forgive me, generic part of the movie, I guess. It's the part I least like, but we'll keep moving.
I agree.
I love Lot 70, which is the screen matched cigarette tin with the baby sock and the VFX photo. I thought that's a really memorable prop, I guess. I thought that was just really,
and I love those
really
old
neat.
photos as a nod back to the original film, the kind of hard copies that he carries around. It's really great, all this little stuff. And that's what I love about the catalog too, is you have little things like that are almost like, they're not future world ephemera. That's like actually a retro throwback piece. And then you have these brilliant costumes, and then the Lot 87, the screen matched LAPD DNA base machine, which is awesome. I just love how and that's the brilliant thing about Blade Runner, is it jumps around from highly technical to kind of old and throwback and tactile, and that's the brilliant part of the design of the world. And to me, that's what cyberpunk is. It's a blending of the classical and the antique and the new.
Moving along, another Love costume, a Joy costume, both very cool.
Yeah. This one's very memorable. Lot 88 is a very memorable costume to me.
Which one? I'm sorry?
The Joy costume, Lot 88. That one just stuck out in my mind as one that I just remembered from the film.
The blue, whatever you want to call it, the kind of
the clear yellow, Lot 88. The
88. Oh, I'm sorry, you jumped ahead. I'm sorry, I was looking at the blue. I'm sorry. Yes, the yellow one, which obviously also suggests the.
Sorry, you were still on that page. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry. No, it's okay. I was looking at the Joy Blue the sort of Harajuku girl one. Yeah. And then there's another photo, and there's a cool Robin Wright costume, and then the database machine, and then the yellow one, which obviously suggests Joanna Gleason's raincoat a little bit from the original Blade Runner.
Right. Joanna Cassidy. Yeah.
Cassidy. I said Gleason.
Yeah. Are you also making her Jewish?
Hilarious. Yep. I made everybody's from a Woody Allen movie. It's Joanna Gleason and Ron Rifkin as Kay.
Ooh, that's good.
I would very much enjoy that movie. And that brings us to 89, which is just fucking great. And this is going to go insane.
Insane.
The screen matched Hero K Blaster.
Beautiful.
Gorgeous gun, obviously suggests the original, but it's fully its own thing. This is the Hero. It is just fabulous. I believe they've screen matched it. It is just incredible. I got a chance to hold this sucker, and it was pretty damn cool. Really, really special. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just, I mean,
very much.
Yeah, this is your instant collection. If you were trying to do any one-stop shopping, here you go. This is the piece, which is just wonderful. I like 90, the light up emanator. Again, we sort of, at least it says joy as well, wherever you want to fit those in. I'm jumping to 97, which of course made me laugh. The sheer number of fake ones of these, you know what I mean? Just that we're out there like almost nonstop since the movie came out. Obviously, this one says production made, but it 100% will come from the production, unlike all
Dave,
the other
as
ones.
George Costanza said, it's not a lie if you believe it's true.
Well, I do love this piece. You would know that you had the one, so that's something, I guess.
Right. That's right.
Yeah. I wonder how many did make. I did think
versus
about that.
a heavily misspelled letter of authenticity.
From Prop Store.
That's right.
Which is Russian prop store.
Yeah. I like the harpoon gun.
Yeah,
91.
I remembered that from the takedown of the spinner.
Yeah, that's a cool sequence and a cool idea that like San Diego has just become the landfill for California.
Right. It just LA overflowed, and it's just like dump it in San Diego. Yeah, very, very funny. I will tell you, by the way, in the screening, we obviously the fires and whatnot, and they're not fires of like destruction, but the opening shot where the factory, the fire, and it was striking, to see sort of Los Angeles 2019, like it definitely hit the audience for half a second in an interesting way. Yeah,
I did say to we're a separate conversation, but friend of the podcast Kelvin Mao and I were having a conversation. And I did say to him, who would have thought that Los Angeles 2019, which for so long was this like future mark of a dystopia, would actually be the last brilliant year in Los Angeles' history. Because if you think about all the shit that's happened since then, COVID and insurrection and then we move on
fire,
to back-to-back strikes, and then half the city burns down, and here we are in 2025, and Los Angeles 2019 sounds like a glory day when the movie theaters were still
2019 was supposed to be post-apocalyptic future, and instead it was
the last great year potentially of Los Angeles for some time.
I would take post-apocalyptic future over what we're going through any day. I'm going to jump to 106, which is one of the Mackenzie Davis. I didn't remember her character's name, Mariette. She's the prostitute, if you will. But this was a very memorable costume. This is how I think of her in that movie. I like that actress a lot, and
she's
thought
great.
This fuzzy coat, so to speak, was really memorable and really jumped out at you.
I saw her in a play out here about 2 years ago. We actually ended up casting somebody out of the play, young Archie Barnes, who played Oscar Tully, the young ascendant lord of House Tully that Damon spars with across season 2. He was in the play, but Mackenzie Davis was the I would say the main character in the play. If not, she was the female lead in the play. If not the main character, it was Phaedra. So it's like a it's a adaptation of the I guess Greek tragedy.
I was going to say one of the tragedies,
but done modern, but like with the old name. So it was a completely modern take on it, and just the production design was, or the stagecraft or whatever you call it, the stage design was just incredible. Beautiful writing. Really great use of voiceover in a play. I mean, just kind of amazing. Really, really, really great. It's too bad it's not around anymore because it was just fantastic. Anyway, she's a tremendous actor. Mackenzie Davis. I've always been a fan of hers. And obviously she's like a nod to Pris. I just think like she could totally play the young version of Daryl Hannah to me.
Very much so. But and again,
Hooper agrees.
He does. I have to watch the movie, but she's human, right? Isn't she human though? Actually, she's a human.
Yes, I believe. Yeah. I guess she plays a human.
No, you're right. It says a Nexus 8 replicant who worked as a
no, because she's involved in the whole conspiracy and the underground.
I guess you're right. Yeah, I guess I still somehow thought she was a human participating, and I don't know.
Well, that's right. I mean, that's her incredible performance, Dave. It was so human.
Well, she got me. She tricked me. I thought she was human.
Great costume.
I bought into it. Really wonderful costume, really memorable, and she's really good in the movie. Which takes us to 107. We saw the badge earlier. This is the full setup.
Killer lot.
Yeah, this is just gorgeous. With the, and I guess
this is
actual,
light up.
It lights up.
K's light up the full wallet with the badge in it. Like, this is the one to get. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty wonderful. That's really spectacular. Yeah.
I also love on this page the slide reader is definitely cool because it has this kind of old school feel to it, and I love lot 114. To me, this is like that jacket that the Sylvia Hoeks, right? That's how you say it. Loves screen matched costume. This is sort of as you get to the end of the movie as she becomes the Terminator killing machine.
Yeah.
But I just love that jacket. I love that whole design.
Well,
this to me is very like very Charles
this,
Node.
Yes, very much so. Just the way the jacket is sort of I don't know what to call it, like sort of open on the side, so you get the liner kind of down the front. It's just gorgeous and sort of very sort of the future, and yet also 1940s. Just at the same time.
Retro future.
Yeah, retro future, exactly. Really, really, really gorgeous. And I like the stunt knife 115. I thought that was a neat little piece. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very cool. I love the other Robin Wright costume, 116.
Which
another
sort of
emanator.
Suggests, I was just going to say that one kind of with the neck stuff kind of suggests a little bit of Kay's jacket ever so slightly. Yep. Yes. A bunch of emanators. So again, if you're interested in an emanator, I think there are choices.
That will be something to me that you can get one without, people are going to be chasing guns and costumes and all that. But the emanators feel it to me like there should be an achievable one. This one is matched. So I think this is probably the best one in the auction from my fuzzy memory of going through this a couple of times, just based on what it is and its function, and also the match on it is pretty great too.
And then speaking of guns, that'll jump us to 122. This is the the recreation of the Deckard blaster from the original movie. It's interesting. This is going to go crazy. I think it's wonderful. Obviously, you and I both own stunts. I don't care. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I just I'm happy with my stunt from the original, I guess is what I'm saying.
Oh, me too, very much.
Even though this is incredible. I don't know how to justify the two things. This is absolutely incredible, but I'm good with what I have, I guess is what I'm saying. And I don't feel the need to have both, I guess is the other piece of it. So a sort of maybe a more unique read on it. Whereas just incredible obviously in the movie, and they did Harrison Ford good. They have 125. Well, they have his outfit too, 123. But 125, they have the holster which looks exactly like the one I used to have. Just crazy spot on. The Black Label, the Johnny Walker, just incredible. The Deckard's outfit, I don't know. It was fine. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. You know what I mean?
I didn't get it, I think is my thing. Because I guess they're trying to say that, he's not Deckard anymore. But isn't there a more in-world way to do that versus feeling like he walked out of the Las Vegas Gap? I just don't, because everybody else in this movie is wearing something that feels custom made, and then this thing just feels like it was bought.
His unique look feels sort of ununique to us, even though in the movie, I guess it is unique. But I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah, it's just it's very strange to me. It's a very strange decision.
It almost feels like, like it's almost like he should have had something, maybe almost more like sappers, like overalls or something. Do you know what I mean? Like kind of working man of the future. Knowing what I know about Harrison Ford, it's also very possible that this is what he wanted. The end. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like
who gives a shit?
Yeah. I already own the pants, so that's what we're going for. Yeah. Anyway, and then 126, another coat, which is from the Deckard scenes, and it's another gorgeous one.
Yeah, and a little distressed. You see the action on the back of it.
Yep.
A wound in the sweater.
The sweater, a little blood stain, exactly.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's so great, and that sequence is so cool. I mean, that Vegas sequence is probably my favorite sequence in the movie. The battle that they have in the nightclub, the lounge,
right, with the Elvis and whatnot.
The Elvis hologram.
Yep.
The malfunctioning hologram is so evocative, and it speaks so specifically to this world where, like, I guess they're kind of saying in this world that's sort of where civilization ended. It was in like the Elvis Sinatra era. And there are no Beatles in this era because the world kind of hit the tipping point, and that was the last bit of art that was created, and we sort of limped on as a people after that. But I just love that scene. And this one will go kind of nuts. And I think that's the question for collectors is like, do you want a cleaner one or do you want a distressed one? And because they're all matched, I think you just kind of get your choice of it. Because I think from here they get progressively more kind of beat up.
I guess
in a good way,
because
in a production
this is
use
from
way.
the Harrison Ford scene, I guess it's probably my favorite, both in terms of the level of distress, but also the specific usage. But I love them all. I'm not. I'm certainly not saying no to any of them, but I guess I just do like that this is that one. I guess wherever that fits in. So I do think that's my personal favorite. What about the bar? That could look good in your new house. That could look fantastic.
That would be pretty great, Dave. Would be pretty great. That's a big bar.
That's a big bar. It could look good in a new house, a college dorm. That could be good, a frat house. That's also in London, so you could go check that out also, the bar.
Yeah, great. I'll be there.
129, fun hand prop, the book with the Rachel photo in it. Very, very heartbreaking a little bit there. I thought that was... I don't know. I thought they did a great job about making it clear how in love with her he was. I thought that was they honored that relationship in the movie. I thought that
very
was
much, and it was the emotion. And if that didn't work, I don't think the movie works. And and it's funny because that thing was always the question about the original film: is does the Deckard and Rachel story really work and hold together? And they made it kind of retroactively work, certainly in this one.
Not according to Madeline Mandel, but anyway, continuing on.
Correct. And I would just say to her, like, do you see how 30 years on, throwing a girl into a wall can sometimes create true love? I mean,
that's the
case that I would.
I'm not sure if she's going to sign up to watch 2049 with me. I guess we'll see. Maybe we'll see. Yeah,
you should see. Maybe maybe she's open to having her hearts and minds changed.
By the way, I think I'm gonna let Blade Runner sit for like a year or two, and then try and force her to watch it again.
Try again.
That's my plan. Yeah, just like a little older. Maybe we'll see. Not that I think it's an age thing, but I think like see it once, then know everything that's wrong with it, and then try and watch it a second time and appreciate the other parts of it. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah.
Indeed.
Maybe. No. All right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I think it's a good idea.
132, you get another shot at the clear yellow jacket ensemble. So a second one of those, something to think about. Maybe it's a little bit buried in here. I got a kick out of the light up binoculars, very Hoth looking. I mean, not the red and the black, but just sort of kind of felt like Hoth in its own weird way.
Yeah, and specific kit made for this movie, which I think is really cool.
Yeah.
Another love costume, 137, from that very memorable seawall scene. Her blaster, it's just a neat design. 139, a security team blaster, which is a sort of less, a less blingy version of hers.
Yeah, different color scheme, I guess, more or less. Yeah.
Yeah, a broken broken emanator 141 after it's smashed on the floor. These things are all great. These are all like great little things.
Just all very, very specific. 144 is fascinating. That was sort of what they wore to kind of duplicate Rachel, basically.
Yeah.
Including, I guess, the wig part. It was played by another actress, but
Pita.
sort of fascinating. But
I love that.
That's a great scene.
That's the Charles Node costume. There you go.
The shoulders, sort of almost like there's a hanger in there still. But and then another shot at 145, right? The Deckard outfit again.
Another matched Harrison.
And then another
costume.
gun. Yeah. So you get there's two different Deckard light up blasters. And
Heroes.
And two sets of his costume, which is kind of interesting. And then we get a couple.
This one is not matched, I guess.
This is not matched. Okay.
They're not calling this one matched, but it is a hero. So, there you go.
Still, though, I mean, another light up. This is one of 4 that were created for the film. So, I mean, I don't know. That's not a lot. You know what I mean? So, that I like that a lot. And then a couple more of Love's costumes, and again, that very unique sort of just jacket style that she has and wears. I am a big fan of 170. I thought these were very fun, sort of, I don't know what to call it, space cuffs. What I mean? Future cuffs. I mean, I just, kind of neat. I just, love Harrison. The way they look with the Harrison and the interesting serial number on them. I don't know. I just thought it was a nice prop. And probably in the grand scheme of this auction, maybe not one of the pricier items, maybe something that can be gotten. There's a second pair coming up as well.
On the next
184.
Page,
Yep, exactly. More emanators. So, again, some of these things now we are getting multiples of, but that's okay. We've got 2 more Deckard costumes, 186. I'm sorry, 186 and then 197. So the numbering is jumping a little bit, or maybe that's...
Yeah. But three matched Harrison costumes in one auction. I mean...
4.
Is it 4?
4.
Well, it's 4. There's 3 of them are matched.
3 are matched. Yes.
186 they're not calling matched. 197 they are.
Still
and
pretty
then here's the light up retractable eye scanner with
the green screen on it, which is
they're
very
not calling
cool.
it matched, but it is a hero functional light up version, which is very exciting. And then we get to the stunt
and maybe
blasters.
The fact that the other one didn't have the green screen on it almost indicates the matching on this, even if it doesn't match. Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
Like the usage thereof.
Yeah,
exactly.
The usage, exactly.
So now, we get to the stunts. So we've got a stunt K and a stunt Deckard,
which is photo matched, which is very cool.
And the stunt Deckard lights up, unlike either of our stunt ones, which they couldn't figure out lighting up on the stunts back in the day.
They couldn't figure out much on those.
Yeah.
But I love these. I mean, I'm privileged enough to have handled these at some point. The build quality on these are incredible. I mean, they call them stunts. These are built like hero quality. The only thing that makes them stunt is that there are no moving parts on them, so everything is kind of solid cast. Other than that, the grips are separate from the body of the weapon. The paint job is, it's ridiculous how high quality they're able to make these things these days.
I definitely was thinking about the stunt K198 to kind of go with my stunt from the original film. Like I thought, like maybe that's symmetry, like a stunt from each movie. They're both just gorgeous, these stunts, and certainly deserving to be in somebody's home. But yeah,
incredible.
Really incredible. And then we get to Lot 200, another K, which is really beat the crap out of, but kind of wonderful how beat up it is.
I love this one because it's from the climactic scene of the film, and it sort of tells the story of the ringer that Kay has been through. My Deckard costume is from the climax of 1982. So if there was a sister costume to that, I think this would kind of be it. But
just because it's from the end,
from the end, and it shows all the scars of battle that Kay has been through. And I think that's the choice you have to make. These are all screen match; they're all wonderful. It's kind of like what part of the story do you want to recount and tell? I think there's a chance that this one maybe goes for a little bit a deal because in analysis against all the others, because it is the most kind of destroyed of all of them, and maybe somebody wants one that's a little nicer or halfway along, or the clean screen matched one from the beginning.
It's funny. I think this is going to go maybe the craziest, because this is, you get to the end of the auction and everybody that didn't win something, that didn't get what they wanted, is just like, fuck it, I'm going to get this last K outfit. I'm going all in. I'm just pushing it all into the middle, and now I'm bidding stupid. Like I was bidding controlled on the first 4, and just fuck it on this one. Just fuck it. Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, maybe Alcon helps. And that's a tight, nice little auction, right?
That's like, nice catalog.
Not exhausting. Like, I don't feel like this show's going to end and I don't feel like I have to get like an IV fluid. Do you know what I mean? Like,
which is very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. It's exciting. I mean, are you
really out? Do you think you're going to think about it all? Or are you really out?
No, I'm really out. And we'll get into it over the course of the season, but I've made the biggest purchase of my collecting career, and I do have to be a bit responsible for a while. That doesn't mean saying no to something amazing that comes along, but when these things sort of push at me from the fringes of like, this doesn't fit into the rubric of really what I collect and the period I collect from, certainly the subject matter and all that, but not the period. I have to really be responsible, because I know other things will come along that are going to give me a harder time. But it will be it'll be fun to like attend and participate and sort of play along and hear what you're bidding on and what you're winning or not winning, or what other people are winning. You and I attended the premiere of this movie together.
Oh, that's right. You were kind enough to invite me. I was not invited to this.
That goes back to my friendly relationship with Alcon. They knew I was such a huge fan of this world and franchise, and they were kind enough to invite me to the premiere.
Congratulations. We did not hire you, but you get a free ticket.
But you do get a ticket.
Yeah.
But no, I really appreciated it, and we had a great time. I remember we sat there in the dark as the credits rolled, and I just remember the first thing you said was, "What an interesting movie that was," and you weren't being like a dick. You were actually, that was a sincere comment, and I think we were both kind of mowed over by the thing, and I think in further analysis maybe we picked at it a bit, but I think our experience on the night was we were really taken with it. And it was one of those things that you want in a movie theater, where you were sucked into a world, you were taken on a ride, you weren't thinking about where you were, checking your phone or whatever. We were really like just taken by the thing and swept away for 2.5 hours.
And I will tell you something, that we saw it, a week or two before it came out, like a normal premiere.
Yeah.
It was very cool. It was in the big Hollywood
Kodak
Highland Theater, which I'd never been in at all. So that was really cool unto itself. And then that just very fun sort of, and they had all the props at the party. If you remember that, we got to see a bunch of,
yes.
Remember there were cases with the props and stuff.
We had a friend who got warned because he was looming too close to Harrison Ford.
He was too close. Right. He was, get back
so
away,
good.
Sir. Yep.
I saw Gosling that night. I saw Denis. I saw Ridley walking around. We had a delightful brief conversation with Kumail Nanjiani at the top of the evening, you and I.
Yep.
It was fun. People were into that premiere, and like that was a very buzzy.
But it was funny. That was not like
around.
People wanted to be at the premiere. That was people wanting to see this movie,
see the movie
as first as they could. I mean, and not to tell people you saw it first, but to just, I can't wait another week. Like I know it's coming out the Friday after next, but I need to see it. And what I was going to say was, I saw it with you at the premiere, and then I went and saw it again when it came out. I think it wasn't necessarily the first weekend, but like the second weekend.
Oh,
I paid money and went again, and I can't think of a movie that I didn't pay twice, but you know what I mean? Like I can't think of a movie that I've seen twice in a theater that is a recent release, I guess is what I'm saying.
Dune, for me, I saw Dune and Dune 2.
No, even those I only did once.
Fury Road.
I've watched them. Yeah, Fury Road I did, but not a lot else. Yeah. Maybe this and Fury Road.
That's it for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the last 10 years or so.
And I guess, like I said, I'm going to rewatch this movie because I have good feelings on it. I'm going to rewatch it and sort of think to myself, do I want something? I don't think I'm necessarily going for the biggest piece ever, but I might be looking at one of those badges or, something that calls out the movie, but isn't necessarily the hero K gun, I guess is where my mind is. Do I need it? Well, that's a larger question, but that's, wherever that fits in. Yeah. We're not gonna get through that therapy today, but yeah.
But I think this is going to do gangbusters for Prop Store and for Alcon. I think and maybe, I don't know, and maybe in an odd way, people start doing like people care about these recent movies, and maybe we should just do more of these things. But I think this is going to be splashy.
Well, or at least realizing like this was a good one and some of the other ones were bad ones, and what it was that made this a good one, that it wasn't just fucking 2 hours of shitty Easter eggs. You know what I mean? Like there's just a...
Chris Nolan had his he did his like top 25 films of the new century or something the other day. Just rattled them off. This is on his list.
Oh, where was that? I'd like to find that.
It was. I mean, you can probably Google it. I saw it on one of the nerd blogs, but I'll see if I can find it and send it. We can post it.
Yeah,
there were some surprising entries in there, but not that this is surprising. It's an excellent movie. It's just, to me, it was surprising that Chris Nolan liked this movie.
Sure.
To me, Chris Nolan, his favorite movies of the century are like, this Iranian film that I saw, and this thing that was in a film festival once in Behind the Iron Curtain, and it was never shown again.
I just think there's a huge difference. I'm not saying anything particularly incredibly revelatory, but you watch this and you watch like that last Indiana Jones movie in terms of Harrison Ford reprising a role from X number of years later, whatever, that is trying to desperately capture maybe the spirit of it, and one does and one doesn't, and there are reasons why.
Like me.
Oof. Yeah. Just oof.
Yeah. Oof.
Yeah,
exactly.
Well, check it out at propstore.com. Download the catalog. Do as you will. Let us know if you bid on anything. Let us know if you win anything. I don't know.
Dave, gun to your head. What's the one thing that you want from the auction? One lot. Pick it.
I guess if I could honestly have anything and not think twice about it, I would probably take the Hero K gun. That's the honest answer.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just it's him, it's the character. Don't get me wrong, I like the costumes too, but I guess if I could have a Hero K gun and my stunt from the other movie, I think I'd be very, very, very happy. Do I need it? These are the questions that we will now wrestle with. Yeah. But yeah.
Good one.
Very cool. Alrighty, well, follow us and everything at Props Podcast. Please review us and give 5 stars or a thumbs up on YouTube. That would help. Subscribe as well to our YouTube channel. I don't know, what else can we tell you? Email us, right?
dreamsaremadeofpodcast@gmail.com. And this is the first of new auction season, 2025 auctions.
Yep,
is the first
that's
one.
Right. More to come, yeah.
So we'll be covering probably the next Prop Store auction, I would guess, the one that's coming up in March, their first auction of the year. And I'm sure there will be heritage auctions to come and other things that pop up along the way. Maybe we'll get an odd one this year that's not from one of our sponsors. Maybe something that comes up that we feel is worthy of a full episode of coverage. Maybe we'll monitor the airwaves and see if something comes along. But yeah, enjoy and happy bidding, and certainly let us know what you are bidding on, or what you want. Yeah.
Cool. Bye, everyone.